Hello to all of you, my lovely students in the 9th grade. How are you today? Welcome back to my English lessons. It's me, your English teacher, Iman Al-Jafari at Al Farouk Academy. In our lesson today, we are going to start reading another part of Gustav's email to the festival committee. So in this lesson, students should be able to read another part of his email and identify the main ideas. You are going to define the meanings of some words and phrases, and also you are going to answer some questions related to the text. In our previous lesson, we read about Gustav's main point of view about pop fans. He said that pop fans are young, inexperienced, overexcited, and badly behaved group of people. Gustav also told us about pop celebrities. He describes them as terrible and notoriously unreliable group of people. Why? Because they cannot keep to a schedule and may drop out in the last moment. And now, let's start with the last paragraph in our lesson today to know more about classical and pop music. In this paragraph, Gustav compares between classical and pop music. So listen carefully.
I conclude by emphasizing the superiority of classical music and the dependability of classical musicians and the classical music audience. With this choice, the school's reputation and the events are guaranteed. In contrast, pop stars and their fans have little musical education or expertise, and the behavior of both the performers and their audience is potentially a complete disaster. You wouldn't want to risk the school's reputation, would you? I hope you will think over my point of view and feel able to embrace a purely classical program. Best wishes, Gustav. Director, School Orchestra.
So, in this paragraph, Gustav compares between classical and pop music. He said that, in conclusion, I emphasize the superiority of classical music. So he said that classical music is superior to any other type of music. هي أفضل من أي نوع تاني من أنواع الموسيقى. And the dependability of classical musicians. Classical musicians can be trusted. What do you mean by dependability? Can be trusted. هم ناس موثوقين. وصف الموسيقيين الكلاسيكيين إنهم موثوقين. And the classical music audience, he described the audience of classical music as excellent educated group of people. With this choice, which means choosing classical music, the school reputation and the events are guaranteed. إذا اخترنا الموسيقى الكلاسيكية، إحنا بنضمن سمعة مدرستنا. On the other hand, in contrast, pop stars and their fans have little musical education. هو وصف المشاهير للبوب ميوزك وجمهورهم إنهم ما عندهم تعلم وكمان ما عندهم خبرة موسيقية. So they have little musical education or expertise. What do you mean by expertise? It means skill. They have little skill. And the behavior of both the performers and their audience is potentially a complete disaster. So pop stars and their audience are badly behaved. يعني هو وصفهم إنه ناس سلوكهم كتير سيء. So what do you mean by potentially here? It means possibly. Complete disaster, disaster means damage, دمار. You wouldn't want to risk the school reputation. يعني هو بفهمنا إنه باختيارنا للبوب ميوزك راح ندمر سمعة المدرسة أو نحط سمعة المدرسة في خطر. You wouldn't want to risk or to put in danger, okay, the school's reputation. Would you? I hope you will think over my point of view and feel able to embrace a purely classical program. So Gustav's main point of view, he wants the festival committee to choose classical music. Best wishes, Gustav. Okay, the main idea in this paragraph, Gustav said that classical music is better than pop music. Classical musicians can be trusted, but pop musicians cannot be trusted. A classical audience are educated group of people. On the other hand, pop audience are uneducated group of people and they have little expertise. Okay? The first question, write down Gustav's main point of view. His main idea is excellent to choose a classical music. So my point of view to impress or to choose a purely classical program. After reading the email that was written by Gustav Hindman to the festival committee, here we have some activities in your student book, page 20. So please open your student book, page 20, and let's start with the first activity, discuss these questions. The first one, what kind of a music does Gustav think is appropriate or suitable for the festival? Gustav supports which type of music? Excellent. He wants the festival committee to choose classical music. How long have people been listening to classical music? People have been listening to classical music for centuries. What other events does he think the classical music audience will enjoy? He said that the classical music audience are educated group of people and they will appreciate other arts forms such as excellent ballet and art exhibitions. What percentage of school students play an orchestral instrument? What do you mean by percentage? It means نسبة مئوية. Yes, they are more than 70% of school students. أكثر من 70% من طلاب المدرسة بيعزفوا آلات موسيقية. What places does Gustav say you can hear pop music? You can hear pop music on radio, in the supermarket, in the street, and everywhere. What instruments does Gustav say that pop musicians use? Pop musicians use two types of instruments. They are excellent guitars and drums. So these two instruments are mainly used excellent in pop music. Which staff at the school did Gustav talk to about pop concerts? When Gustav asked about the pop concert, he talked to excellent the school caretaker. What do you mean by school caretaker? He is someone who takes care of the school building. So Gustav asked him if he had ever had any trouble with pop concerts, and he said, yes, I had some problems with these type of concerts, but not at this school. What does Gustav want the festival committee to do? In the last paragraph, he said that I advise you to choose a classical music. So he wants the festival committee to put on or to choose a purely classical program. Okay? I will stop here today. In our next lesson, we are going to start with the second and the third activities that you have in your student book, page 20. Thank you very much, my dear students.